Hello everybody, it's your pal E.V.A here, and yeah, I haven't made one of these in a while, but we're back at it again. Since it's been a while, here's the basic premise of the video. I make a fan character for the game Genshin Impact, and give them a weapon, element, and a place of origin, and I talk about their backstory, design, and the drawing process. So far, I've made the characters Kaichi, Sophie, Jaming, and Xavier, and if you haven't seen those videos, the link in the iCard should be there for a playlist of those speed paints, and yeah, feel free to check them out on my channel as well. For today, I will be creating a new character from Fountaine again, so sit back, relax, and enjoy my rambling about my new character. So this character's name is Clement, a sword user from Fountaine who has a geovision. I don't quite remember why I named them Clement, but it's a French name and it sounds cool. Clement also uses they them pronouns, so keep that in mind as I go over their story. They have a very sophisticated, cool, and collected personality, and they are extremely smart. They always have a plan of action, although most people don't really understand them until later on. But yeah, for their story, and keep in mind that I of course know that none of this is probably canon or anything. I know I should have probably said that at the start of this series, and if anything, I think of these characters to exist in a sort of AU, so yeah, just keep all of that in mind. I know I should have probably mentioned that at the start of the series, especially with Jaming and Xavier, since they are involved a little more in like the lore of Genshin Impact, but yeah, just keep that in mind. But I imagine that Clement is a respected head of power in Fountaine, and a well-known commissioner for the Adventurers Guild. They have a blind eye, probably due to an illness when they were younger, but they have no problem holding their own in a fight. Clement trained to be a fencer, and I would imagine in-game for their fighting animation to all be inspired by fencing. I've been playing around with how they got their vision, but I think the way they got their vision was they were challenged by a bad guy, maybe a Fatui member, in a public duel. They almost lost, but they didn't give up, and that's when they got their vision. They were able to adapt to their vision quickly and defeat their challenger. It was after that that they became a respected fighter in Fountaine. Their story also ties in with Xavier's a little bit. If you remember from that video, if you don't, go watch it, you'll know that Xavier ran away from Fountaine, and Clement was one of the people who chased him out. The two almost fought each other, which has led to them having a strong dislike of each other. Currently, they have learned about two specific members of the Adventurers Guild, who also wield visions, and have gotten pretty interested in them. They test their power by commissioning them to do different jobs, but we'll talk about that more in the next video when we go over them. So yeah, their story was pretty fun to write and to figure out. I imagine when you think about all the Geo characters, most of them are kind of like respected people of like where they come from. Like if you think of Ningguang and I'm trying to think of his name, but yeah, if you think about Geo vision wielders, most of them are like have like high power and are well known. Like even if you think of like Noelle, like she's like a well known like maid. She's like well known around Mondstadt, and people respect her and stuff. Don't know about Ito. He's the like outlier of the group, I guess. But yeah, that's what it was kind of like doing with Clement and their story. So that's my reasoning for that. I also imagine that they also adapted to their vision quickly. Of course, obviously they would have to if they were in the middle of a fight. But I find that to kind of be an interesting concept. I don't think we've gotten like the insights of like what happens like right after someone gets a vision, if they like adapt to it really quickly, or if they have to take time to adapt to it or something like that. I guess it depends on the person, but I just find that to be interesting and thought that would be a cool thing to throw in there. So yeah, anyway, that's all I really have for their story. Now let's talk about their design. As you can see, I went much heavier with the French fencer aesthetic than I did with Xavier, but I thought that fit well since they actually live there, unlike Xavier, who is an outcast. I like the idea of also giving them some Mad Hatter vibes. I don't know why, I just thought that would be really cool. So I gave them a nice top hat and split colored hair, which I ended up liking a lot. I think it looks really cool, and not really something you see in Genshin Impact. I mean, mostly when it comes to multicolored hair in Genshin Impact is usually like the characters will have like their hair fade to a different color, sometimes stripes. Actually, I don't think there's anyone with striped hair, but I think that look is just really cool. Like I said in the story, Clement has a blind eye, so I made one of their eyes lighter than the other to convey that. As far as their outfit goes, I don't think I'm actually a fan of it. It's very busy, a bit too busy, and it also reads very steampunk, which isn't very Genshin Impact accurate. However, when I do think of the French aesthetic and what we've seen of some of the characters that are from Fountaine, it's clear that it's supposed to be more Victorian, and you know, when you think of Victorian, you think of steampunk, so maybe it works, I don't know. I also think it's probably pretty busy looking because of the colors, which on closer look are pretty similar in hue. You'll notice I added a bit of pink, mostly to match the eyes, and I think a Geo character with pink elements is pretty cool. I actually haven't seen many characters with pink in their designs, like primarily besides E.V.A and Miko, but I think like having a Geo character with pink elements is pretty cool. I actually redesigned them as a D&D character for a campaign I'm in, since I thought it would be fun to play as them. Here they are, tiefling, artificer, and pretty chaotic. I'm happier with that design, and I think it turned out better, yeah. But despite all that, I do think they resemble what I think a fencer would look like in game. I'm also happy with their weapon, and yeah, other than that, I think they look good, and I think they can definitely fit in with the rest of the Geo family, so yeah. As far as the drawing process goes, it went fine. I did struggle a lot with the colors, like I said, and I still don't think they're quite good. I decided to keep Clement as a 4-star, mainly so that Sylvie wouldn't be lonely, and this also allowed me to go a little easier with their background, which was actually quite fun to do. I had fun rendering these geo rocks, and I used pink for the lighting, as far as like coloring in Clement goes, which I think does make the colors look a little better, and I think it definitely worked in the hair and the eyes quite a lot. And yeah, I think the happiest part of their design I'm happy with is their hair and their eyes. And yeah, and you'll notice in their D&D design I kept those elements in, and I just sort of modified their outfit in that one. Yeah, it was a very, very fun character to draw and to think about, and yeah. that's all I pretty much have to say. I really like how the drawing turned out, and I hope you guys too. I know this was a bit of a shorter video, but yeah, it's a shorter video. I hope you don't mind that. If you want to see the rest of my Genshin Impact OCs, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss those videos, and like the video. And again, check out those other ones if you haven't seen them yet. This picture, as well as all my other artworks, are on my socials linked below. I have my 2 comics on my Webtoon, so be sure to check those out. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!